This NBA season has been one of the most entertaining and most mind-blowing seasons we've ever seen, and some of it was definitely for the wrong reasons. But due to all the chaos recently, this year's rookies are being overshadowed. And yeah, it's easy to get overshadowed as a rookie when you're in the same league as Luka Doncic, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, Damian Lillard, LeBron, and Ja Morant, who all put up insane numbers almost every single game. And that's honestly understandable. Who cares about a rookie scoring 25 points in a game when in the same night Luka Doncic goes for 60, or Donovan Mitchell or Damian Lillard go for 70 plus? But in today's video, we'll go over some rookies who potentially have star or even superstar potential, starting with the former #1 overall pick, Paolo Banchero. Paolo's playing exactly how we all expected for the most part. He's averaging 20 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 steal, while shooting 42% from the field, 74% from the line, and 28% from 3 on 4 attempts per game, which is actually pretty similar to LeBron James' rookie numbers. James averaged 25 and 6 while shooting 41% from the field, 75% from the line, and 29% from 3. So they both have similar strengths and weaknesses. But let's stop that comparison right there, because although they have similar rookie numbers, they have two totally different play styles and tendencies. The most obvious difference is that LeBron was and still is a freak of nature, who is one of the most fascinating physical specimens the sport has ever seen. Paolo leads all rookies in points, while also being second in rebounds among all rookies. But let's get into his game. How exactly does he have star potential? For starters, he's a borderline elite scorer on the inside. He leads all rookies in shots within 5 feet from the basket, shooting 60% on 5.5 attempts per game. The kid is 250 pounds, and once he gets the ball down low, he uses all of his size to his advantage. But he doesn't just play bully ball. He's got great footwork in the post, and he also has very good awareness and feel on the inside that's kind of surprising for someone so young. He's had games where he was almost unstoppable in the post. One-on-one, incoming help side defender, triple teamed, it doesn't matter. He's so skilled and strong, it's gonna be tough to guard him even for the best of post defenders. He's 36th in the NBA in points per post-up, and as he gets more efficient and more touches, he should be much higher by next season. And when it comes to the mid-range, he gets buckets there too. He's first among all rookies in shots within 15 to 19 feet, shooting 36% on 3.4 attempts per game. And this in-between game is why he's averaging 20 points, because he's not one-dimensional at all. He can score almost at will in the post, but when he faces better teams and can't get into the lane as easy, he can settle for mid-ranges, which is actually his bread and butter shot, and has been since he played at Duke University. As a passer, he's not nearly as polished there as he is at scoring, but nonetheless, he's definitely an above-average passer, and he's shown great flashes of being a really good passer. His versatility as a passer is extremely promising. He can push the ball in transition and throw a dime. He's a good lob passer, and he's solid at kickouts and passing out of the post. And in the rebounding department, he's good, and we wouldn't be surprised to see him average around 7 to 8 boards per game next season. On the defensive end, while he isn't amazing, he has shown potential to be solid and hold his own. Similar in a way to Julius Randle. Randle isn't a lockdown defender by any means, but he's strong, agile, and mobile enough to be a decent switchable defender who plays very well in zone defensive coverages. This next player definitely has star potential, and we're sure many of you probably have a good idea of who it is. Bennedict Mathurin. The young rookie is averaging 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 1.4 assists while shooting 42% from the field, 82% from the line, and 31% from 3 on 4.2 attempts per game. Sure, we know both Mathurin and Banchero are shooting poorly from 3, but honestly, they both have solid form and mechanics, so we wouldn't worry too much about that just yet. But Ben is second among all rookies in points per game, and just like Paolo, he loves the paint. Mathurin is second among all rookies in shots within 5 feet from the basket, shooting 55% on 5.3 attempts per game. He's also second among all rookies in field goal percentage off of drives per game. He loves contact and often seeks it out, which hints at him getting to the free throw line almost 6 times per game. He sort of reminds us of Jalen Brown in this area. The way they can slither into the lane with their sweet footwork and finish tough, acrobatic layups is not easy to do. And he has an underrated first step. When he takes someone off the dribble at the three-point line, he's at the rim in a split second. This burst and ability to elevate and play through contact is why he'll be a good NBA player. He's fearless, and he has the attitude and skill to back it up. But in the mid-range and at the three-point line, he's far from the best. He doesn't really attempt mid-range shots, and this is because he's so focused on getting to the rim. And while he is really good at that, he's gonna have to add a consistent mid-range, especially if he's gonna shoot poorly from three. And with his above-average shooting mechanics and form, along with his work ethic, we really believe he'll improve in those areas drastically. As a passer, he's a little iffy there too, but that was never a strong point in his game, nor does it really need to be. But of course, improving there wouldn't hurt either. As a defender, he's solid, and we like his potential here, but he's made a lot of rookie mistakes on the defensive end, which is expected. So right now, it's still difficult to tell what his defensive ceiling will be. But while we're on the topic of defense, of course, we've got to talk about Walker Kessler, the rookie for the Utah Jazz who's averaging 8 points, 8 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks in just 22 minutes of action. On the offensive end, he's your typical big. He sets good screens, he rolls hard to the basket, but he's 11th in the NBA in points off of putbacks. So while he isn't a scorer, he does have everything you need on offense. But on defense is where he sets himself apart from most rookies. He's been amazing this year. He's having the same defensive impact Herbert Jones and Evan Mobley had in their rookie seasons. They were among the best defenders in the league in their first few months of playing professional basketball. And Walker Kessler is without a doubt a top 10 defensive center already. He's 5th in the NBA in blocks per game, 2nd in blocks per 100 plays, 5th in contested twos per game, and 10th in contested shots per game. This 21-year-old has future Defensive Player of the Year written all over him. And honestly, if Jaren Jackson Jr. and Brook Lopez weren't playing out of their minds defensively, we wouldn't be surprised to see him in the conversation this year. Not saying he would win it, but definitely part of the conversation. And that's saying something. And now for a player who isn't mentioned nearly as much as the other players on this list, Jalen Williams. Williams is averaging 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists while shooting 52% from the field, 76% from the line, and 35% from three. The OKC guard has sort of come out of nowhere, and he's even averaging an astounding 23 points per game over his last 7 games. And while some, or maybe most, are unfamiliar with them, we've watched a lot of his college games at Santa Clara, and we knew he was going to be a really good player. The reason why is because he played with such a high IQ and feel for the game. And plus, he literally did everything on the court. He really didn't have a weakness coming out of college. And honestly, if he would have played at a more widely known college, we could have seen him get picked slightly earlier than 12. He just plays so smooth, and he just simply takes what the defense gives him. If you sag off, he's gonna shoot. And if you play close up, he's gonna drive on you and get into the lane for a finish or a kick-out pass. And while statistically he is just a decent shooter, he is shooting 58% over his last 7 games, averaging 23 points. And if we had to define his game for someone, we would have to say he just knows how to play basketball. He's always making good decisions and good reads. He hustles, and he's a solid defender. And not to mention, he leads all rookies in steals per game with 1.4. And now for the last player on the list who has a high ceiling, Houston Rockets' Jabari Smith Jr. He's averaging 12 points, 7 rebounds, and 1.2 assists per game while shooting 39% from the field, 79% from the line, and 30% from three. And sure, those numbers don't seem great and not what everyone was expecting from a number 3 pick, but just remember this. He is only 19 years old, and he just recently had a 30-point game versus the Indiana Pacers. And if you want to know his upside, go check out that game. He showcased the ability to create off the dribble, shoot threes, and he even took it to the rim on Miles Turner, one of the best rim protectors in the league. And while we see more of a Brandon Ingram in him than Kevin Durant, one of the similarities between those two is in the mid-range shot. Jabari is second among all rookies in mid-range shots, shooting 34% on 2 attempts per game. One could only hope he focuses more on getting into the mid-range and rising over defenders at will. He has that ability, and on the defensive end, he's as good as expected. He's a switchable defender with good length and mobility, and he's an improving shot blocker, averaging just under 1 block per game. And there you have it. Paolo Banchero, Benedict Mathurin, Walker Kessler, Jalen Williams, and Jabari Smith Jr. are our picks for rookies with superstar potential. But here are 3 honorable mentions who just missed the cut: Jaden Ivey, Keegan Murray, and Jeremy Sohan. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.